Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the MMA Fight Game Podcast. We are here with a rising featherweight professional fighter in Vinny Iannuzzo, the chosen one. He'll be talking about what the chosen one is in Italian. I cannot pronounce it. I would butcher the hell out of it. Vinny had a very extensive career in amateur mixed martial arts, compiling a 4-1 record, two TKO finishes. He is currently 1-0, coming off a viral knockout finish at Combat Zone. Getting a fight for Vinny was a very, very tall task. Had 5 or 6 fights decline. However, he is on the massive, which we'll talk about as well, LFA 194 Magomedov versus Leyva on October 18th, 2024 at the beautiful Seneca Resorts and Casino in Niagara Falls, New York. Vinny, finally got you on. You finally got a fight. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. I love it. Let's get right out of the gate. First, I apologize about my voice. I'm coming right off the Creed and Three Doors Down show last night. So you know how that goes. I was texting you last night. Talk to me. I mean, obviously you're out of D Simone Martial Arts, Ultimate Athletics. After your pro debut against a veteran who was, I think, 4-4 at the time, you had a massive viral KO walk-off. And, talking with like Rick Caldwell from Combat FC, a lot of guys weren't clamoring to sign on the dotted line for you. You had 5 or 6 opponents pull out or sign, not sign. Do you think it was attributed to your amateur career and that viral knockout, or what do you think people aren't wanting the smoke?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Is the proof speaks for itself. I mean, people just straight up have not wanted to fight since. And we can call that what it is. A lot of these guys are, in my opinion, they're kind of frauds. They wanna have the title of being a fighter, but they want to handpick easy fights. I see a lot of these regional guys taking on, guys with losing records and guys who, are defeated and stuff like that. And then as soon as they get an opportunity with somebody that's, up and coming, they want to play all the games. I know there was a whole bunch of cards that I tried getting on from my last fight till now. And, I've had some get signed and then fall through. And then some that, guys calling saying they wanted the fight, specifically saying my name. So then as soon as I agree, all of a sudden, all these issues start popping up and then they don't want to sign. So it is what it is. I can only control what I can control, and we're here now. I got an opponent that's signed, ready to go, dialed in for October 18th, and I'm gonna have to step in there and do what I do. So
I love it. And it kind of goes full circle because, obviously you're a Full Contact Promotions alumni. And, we obviously have a fight next weekend, October 5th, at the Holiday Inn in Rochester, New York. You've come out of there. Jonathan Piersma has come out of there. Jacob Bone has come out of there. Jake Hicksonbaugh has come out of there. Jasmine Jazz Vicious has come out of there. We also have some rising athletes. One that you told me to watch who had a masterful performance at the Attica Takedown 2, and a young up-and-comer in Bobby D. Simone, one of your coach's sons. You have Isabella Filipuzzo. You have Rocky from Canada as well. The list is long and distinguished, but the guy you're fighting, Derek Patterson, he's also a Full Contact Promotions alumni. How full circle is that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and it just goes to show that upstate New York, whether you're from the area or just coming here to fight, there's definitely talent and there's definitely names out here, and I think the scene is definitely rising quickly. And October 18th, you're going to get a chance to see that on full display because a lot of the guys, as you mentioned, are fighting on the card, and we're all going to put on a great performance. So.
Yeah, I want to hit on that. Obviously, if people watch or kind of pay attention to my social media, Western New York MMA, Central New York MMA, New York MMA in general, with all the promotions, amateur and regional, the list is long and distinguished. And I mean, you got rising amateurs, and you got, the squad of pros coming up through the ranks. It's amazing. How confident are you? I mean, out of D Simone, besides Bobby, is there any other dogs to be on the watch out for?
Oh, for sure. Definitely a lot of young talent there. The other kid that fought, Ethan Wicks,
Mm-hmm.
that was his first pro or first fight in general.
Yeah.
And he put on a really good performance. We got some younger guys. We had two kids that fought that were 15. So just getting their feet wet, not only with training but competitive experience. And they both did really well too. So Riley, I think Frigon, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and then Shane Conger, both had good matchups and they both did really well. Win, lose, or draw, they had things to work on, but also things to be proud of. So, they'll be on the rise soon. I know they've already been back in the gym working on it. So we'll see when they get back in there. But with them only being 15, the sky's the limit for them. So,
Yeah, you guys got a good thing going over at D Simone. What are your expectations for October 18th at Seneca Niagara Casino at LFA 194?
just another Vincenzo Iannuzzo fight. I mean, you know what happens when I step in there. I do damage, and it usually is a pretty spectacular way. A lot of people jump out of their seats. When I land that big shot. So I got to go in there, got to fight my fight, and when the opportunity presents itself, lights out.
Yeah, and we were talking offline. You and your significant other, you guys made the decision for you to pursue mixed martial arts full time. What has been the daily change for you becoming a full-time mixed martial artist and really diving in and like focusing solely on that, focusing solely on your daughter as well?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest parts, and that's the part that I'm probably most thankful for is it's given me a lot more time to be home with her. So that's nice. I get to be like a stay-at-home dad, if you will. But I also get the opportunity to balance out training more. I get more training in. I can do strength and conditioning in the morning, and then I can make two practices at night instead of just one practice a night after work and all that. So it's just freed up a lot of time for me to be with my daughter, which that's the most important thing to me. And then obviously fighting with that as well. It's just giving me more time to train and prepare for this. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, I love it. And obviously if people follow you on your Instagram, what's your Instagram, Vinny?
V Iannuzzo MMA.
Okay, perfect. And then before we talk about the card and getting tickets and attending, talk to me about the chosen one in Italian. Obviously, I would have butchered the hell out of it. I have a habit of butchering names, which is, I think, disrespectful, but I try my hardest. But what does that mean in Italian? How do you say
So
it?
the translation in Italian is Il Prescelto, which means the chosen one. And the meaning behind that is for me, getting into fighting and martial arts, it's a long time family thing. My dad, who passed away when I was 10, was a martial artist back in the day. And for me, the guy was a living legend, a superhero for me. So getting the opportunity to do this, it not only gives me a chance to kind of write my own story, but I feel like I get to carry on his legacy and kind of finish that in its sense. So the chosen one kind of means, the one chosen to take on, that legacy and to, you know, do what he maybe didn't get a chance to do. So it kind of ties into family roots, and then obviously me being Italian, it just kind of goes with it. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great story. Obviously, people can hit you up. You profit greatly from selling tickets. I know there's a ticket link on your cart on your Instagram page that they can go
yep.
to, or they can just DM you as well. If you're a fan of Western New York, Central New York mixed martial arts, obviously, as I mentioned, you have Jake Hicksenbaugh, you have the GOAT and Jacob Bone. You have Kevin Carrier, who is a rising prospect in his own right. But then, I talked to you offline as it's going. So LFA 194, Magomedov versus Leyva at Seneca Resort Casino. This card is low-key stacked. And if you don't know, now we're going to get into it. I mean, you have Gigi Canuto from Las Vegas, a rising female strawweight. You also have Austin Vanderford, who is PFL Bellator fame, lost I think a finalist, or he fought Gegard Mousasi to a loss. But that's the kind of level of mixed martial arts. His wife is also Paige Van Zant, a former mixed martial artist turned power slapper. So definitely the expectation is some squad. She's going to be there. A squad from Las Vegas is going to be there. But the most heartwarming story is Josiah Hall. And for the people that don't know, and I want to talk to you about, the medical screening afterwards. If people don't know who Josiah Hall is, he's actually making his return fight at your card at LFA 194. Back last summer, he was signed on short notice because Sean Brady had an injury or staph infection, pulled out of his Jack Della Maddalena fight at UFC 290. Josiah was going through pre-fight medical screening by the UFC. They actually found a rare brain condition called Myoa disease, which required immediately brain surgery, which was life-saving. As an athlete, Vinny, how important are, like, knowing that when you go to that next level in the UFC, PFL, those medical screenings are going on to protect you, the athletes? How important is that to you?
Oh, I mean, it's not something that, I really thought much of before because, in the amateur scene, we didn't have to do CT scans or MRIs or anything like that. I
Mm.
actually just got my first one done for this fight. But obviously hearing stories like that, it speaks wonders to it. And you know, you never want it to be you, but then you hear these stories of other people and it's, it really touches your heart. And obviously, it saved him. Obviously glad he's
Right.
still there and also huge that he's getting an opportunity to still try and live out his dream. So, a crazy story like that. And, that's why we have these things there. And obviously it serves its purpose. So,
Yeah. So what other tests from the amateur scene is different from, like, the amateur scene to the professional scene? I mean, obviously LFA is run by Ed Source, who's just a legendary matchmaker, translator, athlete manager. What tests are different?
for LFA, the main one that I noticed was different, and it's because we're fighting in New York. We had to get the CT scan or MRI. For my last pro one, everything was pretty much straightforward with the amateur stuff, except for we needed to get our eyes dilated and have that exam done. Everything else is pretty much straightforward, though. Your sports physical, and then your blood work. So nothing too crazy, but obviously, the CT scans and MRIs, those show up and doing the sport that we do. Obviously, you got to keep an eye on your brain and make sure that's the most healthy thing. So,
Yeah, awesome. Before we wrap this up, obviously you're now a professional. Is there anyone that you want to thank or give a shout out to for supporting you in your journey? I know we've talked a lot about some things. I think you're still with that chain company, right? That jewelry company, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
still one of
yeah,
my sponsors, man.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
no,
that.
for sure. I mean, I got to thank my family first. Specifically, Bella and my daughter.
Yep.
We talked about this. Giving me the opportunity to, pursue my dream full time. And having that support. That goes without saying. I can't thank them enough. And obviously wanting to do this and be successful to take care of them as well. And the rest of my family as well. That's always supporting me. Going to the fights. Sharing stuff, wishing me luck, all the things that, seem minor, it's all very appreciated. All my teammates that have been helping me and pushing me through this camp. Specifically, I'd like to highlight Tim Fargo and Danny Gura. Those have been my two main guys throughout this camp.
Yep.
So I can't thank them enough for the time they've put in. Obviously, all my coaches, same thing goes with them. The countless hours and practices that they're there for. Watching film, sending me updates, taking care of everything that they need to. That's very appreciated. And then obviously my sponsors. Royal Jewelers is the one that you were talking about.
Right.
We'll have to talk to them too. I want to I got to get a custom piece made, get something kind of flashy going here.
Let's
All my other
go.
sponsors as well. Yeah. Got a few new ones here. Unlimited Exotics. That was a big one that signed on with us. And then a couple of my other ones have been some reoccurring. My barber, Connor Van Epps, Spataro Agencies. Another one, real estate company that I know through high school. His name's Eric O'Mara. So I got a chance to talk with him, and we, worked things out, got a sponsorship going there. So, thank you to all of them. The support helps me train, pay for everything that I need, whether it's medical expenses, training equipment, travel, all that stuff. So got to send a long list out, but thank you to everybody.
Yeah, I love it. And obviously you make a lot of money on ticket sales. Your ticket link directly to you is on your Instagram page. If you were a fan of local Rochester, New York, Syracuse, mixed martial arts, this is the professional card to make too. I think I've known Jacob Bone for 20 plus years. I've known him when he was an amateur. This is the first time I'm seeing him fight professionally. Jake Hicksenbaugh is a straight dog. Kevin Carrier, and then obviously our relationship with each other. All the local dogs are scrapping. This card is low key, like off the chain. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, know the regional scene or who the comers and goers. Magomedov is nasty. Josiah Hall making his return from brain surgery. Gigi Canadu, Austin Vanderford is another one as well. But Vinny, I truly appreciate the time on a Saturday. 2 weeks till you'll eat. I can't wait to be out at LFA 94 at 194 at the Seneca Resorts and Casino in the beautiful Niagara Falls, New York. But I truly appreciate the time and just sit tight, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.